Hello and welcome back to another video. Today is going to be another basics of health video, and today is going to be water. So we are going to cover the importance of hydration, benefits of hydration, causes of dehydration, dangers of dehydration, how to notice dehydration, and how to stay hydrated, and general recommendations. So first thing is, why is hydration and water important? There are a multitude of reasons why water is important, and the reason why there's so many is because most of the body is made up of water. Like we're talking bloodstream, joints, parts of your spinal cord and parts of your brain, our cells, like so much of it is just water. Now, when we drink water, majority of it is being absorbed into the bloodstream after being absorbed by the small intestine. When it gets to the bloodstream, it's going to carry oxygen and nutrients to the cells and carry waste out of it. It'll carry the waste out of the body via urine. The fact that our body is made up of water is also, well, mostly made up of water, is also part of why we are able to conduct electricity. Our body requires electrical signals, also known as neurons, to be sent and received throughout the body in order to tell the body what to do. And this is any small stimulus from this external, like, plane, we'll say, and how we respond to it or what we even feel from it, right? So things like reading, processing visual and audio stimulation, so things that we hear, things that we see, things that we feel physically, like, requires electrical signals to be sent from this part right here in order for me to be able to feel this, from here to the central nervous system and back, so that I know what to do about this, which right now is nothing. So some will say benefits of hydration is, like I said before, bringing nutrients to the cells, getting rid of waste, and as well as protecting our joints and organs, maintaining body temperature. I'm just going to start listing shit off, right? Aids in digestive system, prevents constipation, flushes toxins, promotes kidney function, lubricates our joints and muscles. About 90% of your joint is made up of water, or not 90%, 60%, 60 to 70-ish is made up of water. So whenever you're dehydrated, mind you, your body will, one of the first parts your body will pull the water from is your joints, because there are far more important functions that water needs to perform in order to keep you alive. It supports skin health, regulates your body temperature, protects your spinal cord and sensitive tissue, forms saliva and mucus, delivers oxygen throughout the body, cushions your brain and spinal cord and other sensitive tissue, maintains your blood pressure, your airways restrict when you're dehydrated, it prevents kidney damage. So much more I could list off, but I'm not going to. Water's freaking important, okay? So some general causes of dehydration would be a lack of fluids, pretty obvious, low counts of electrolytes in your system, and electrolytes, we'll talk a little bit more about it in a second, are what allows your body to absorb the water. Prolonged sun and heat exposure, excessive sweating, burns, vomiting, and diarrhea. And this one's not necessarily a cause of dehydration, but it is an interesting fact that I thought could be just interesting to know, which is we lose water when we breathe. When animals exhale, we release carbon dioxide into the air and water, which contributes to the precipitation of the water cycle. And the reason why this happens is because the temperature in our body is so warm. It's specifically within like it's like in our lungs. I want to say in our lungs, our lung cavities, but I want to say our lungs. The humidity is basically 100%. So when we're breathing out carbon dioxide, you're also breathing out a lot of that water and precipitation that occurs within our lungs. Humans exhale approximately 17.5 milliliters an hour. Varies from person to person. So some of the dangers of dehydration, again, listen it off, right? Kidney problems. We're gonna start with that one. So we know that water carries oxygen and nutrients to the cells and takes waste out of the cells and into the kidneys, and from the kidneys out through urine, right? That's where the waste goes. If there is not enough water in your system, all of that waste is going to build up in your kidneys, because there isn't enough water to transport it from there to the toilet. Seizures and muscle cramps. Another very dangerous effect of dehydration is it reduces your blood volume, which can cause you to go into hypovolemic shock. I believe I pronounced that right. So the reason why that's dangerous is because it reduces oxygen and nutrient delivery to a wound bed and impairs wound healing. And this is not just for external wounds, but this is for anything going on inside as well. Your body isn't able to function as well because your blood volume has become so minimal. You'd be surprised how much of our water or how much of our bloodstream is made up of water. I don't have a number, but you could probably fucking Google it. How to notice dehydration. So some signs of dehydration are headache, fatigue, dizziness, weakness, lightheadedness, dry mouth or dry cough, loss of appetite but still craving sugar, increased heart rate and decreased blood pressure, flushed skin and swollen from all the excess sodium, and electrolytes in the body. Mild cases of dehydration, the body can rehydrate within like a few minutes once you just start taking fluids. However, the physical side effects of the dehydration are going to, they can take up to 36, 48 hours to recover from. So if you do reach a state of dehydration or experiencing some sort of like heat exhaustion or something of the like, yes, you'll be rehydrated fairly quickly, so long as it's mild, but the body will take longer to recover from it physically. So you should probably take it easy after that happens. Now, as far as how to stay hydrated, drink water. Drink enough water. Point blank period, that's the answer. Now, there is another part of absorbing water, and that is going to be electrolytes. And I do want to touch on that a little bit. What are electrolytes? They are essential minerals like sodium, calcium, and potassium that regulate muscle contractions and keep you hydrated, balance your pH levels, and control your central nervous system function. So they are substances that have a positive or negative electrical charge when they dissolve in water, right? So you know how I said that the body uses electrical currents or electrical signals, also known as neurons, to transport information, send and receive it throughout the body. This is part of how they do that, right? The body needs electrolytes in order for the water to be able to do all of its functions. Our body and electrolytes work together to keep us alive and to give us energy to do things. So they regulate chemical reactions, maintain balance between fluids. The body gets them through foods and drinks. Kidney will filter excess electrolytes out of the body and into urine, and we can lose electrolytes through urine and sweat. If you are drinking like a ton of water and you like a ton of water and you just notice you're still experiencing signs of dehydration and all that, it might be worth taking some electrolyte powder. I know my personal experience, I cramp very, very easily. I haven't gotten my blood levels checked or anything like that, but chances are I have like a low count of electrolytes in my system, or I could have excess because I am also I like salty foods. So I could have too much. That's also very, very possible to have too much of that stuff in your system. But yeah, no, getting things with electrolyte powders, Gatorades and Powerades and stuff like that, they're not the worst, right? As long as you're not throwing them back more than you are water. But the only reason I have my reserves about it is just because of the sugar. The sugar it's not always going to be the greatest for you, so just kind of take it case by case. But generally, it's not going to be the worst thing for you. It's definitely good for like a quick, get some electrolytes in you, get some stuff in you to keep you awake and to keep your body regulated. So this electrical charge that I said in the previous definition where I was talking about substances that have like a positive or negative electrical charge is referring to neurons that are sending signals throughout the body to regulate our function. So to stay hydrated, you need two things: enough water and enough electrolytes to absorb the water. Some factors of how much that's going to be depending on the person some of the factors are body composition, how much you exercise or your movement amount, and the intensity of those things, your environment, so if you're in a hotter or colder climate, your overall health, so are you sick? Are you experiencing number 3 in the bathroom? Are you vomiting? Also, if you're pregnant or you're breastfeeding, you're going to need more water because you are like, if you've been pregnant and have breastfed, you know that you get hungry and exhausted very, 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 very quickly. You burn a lot of calories through breastfeeding because it's literally energy, units of energy collecting in your breast tissue and feeding it to another human so that they have those calories and those units of energy so that they can stay alive. That's going to burn a lot of calories, and it's going to, it's a liquid. Of course, a ton of water is going to be part of that as well. So make sure you are drinking way more if you are doing those things. So as far as exercise and movement intensity, right? The harder you're working out, the more water you need to drink. The hotter the climate, the more water and the more electrolyte powder. If you are sick, it's a lot harder to want to drink water, especially if you're throwing up. It tastes like fucking terrible. But you need to be drinking as much fluids as possible when you're doing that as well, right? So any of these like out of norm or out of, I guess, homeostasis conditions, you need more water and more salt. Now, the more fixed one of these factors of these is going to be body composition. And this one actually kind of surprised me a little bit, right? So muscle has 70 to 75% water content. So every 1 pound of muscle equals about 3 pounds, needs about 3 pounds of water, which is fucking insane. And then the fat has 10% water content. So 10 pounds of fat will have 1 pound of water. So basically, the more lean you are, the more water you need. Fun fact, right? But that's one of the fixed factors of how much water you need. The general recommendation for the general populace, and when I say general, it is a very, very, very broad term, because there is a very broad population in America, in the world, right? Very, very broad. So, but the general recommended intake is 11.5 cups for women and 15.5 cups for men, more or less depending on the person. Okay, the more you move, the more you do, the more fit you are, the more varying circumstances you have, chances are the more water you need. That's all I got, right? That is the importance of water and why I harp on it, especially those of y'all. Well, all of y'all work with me or have worked with me so far, but that's why I harp on it so much, is because it is vital to your survival and how your body functions and your recovery and literally everything. I will not harp on water enough. That's how I look at it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Mwah!